So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at something that we call false friends. So what are false friends in the English language? Well, basically, depending on what language, your native language, whether it be Spanish, Italian, French, German, I guarantee there are going to be words in the English language that sound the same as your native language. However, they could have a very different meaning, and this is the problem, and that's why we call them false friends. False friends are words in your native language which sound or look the same as an English word but are actually very, very different. So a lot of the time this can be really, really good fun actually, and it is very, very interesting depending on your language. If you have a look, you will find, word lists in your own native language of, false friends. So some of the times it can be quite hilarious. It's very, very interesting, but it is important to know because sometimes words in your language can be rather offensive in another one. And there are some classic examples of this, but they're so rude I am not going to say them. Obviously, depending on the language, these words vary. So let's have a look so you can see what I mean. And now, before I do this, I apologize in advance. I do not speak Italian, I do not speak French, or a lot of the languages that I'm going to be trying to pronounce. So yes, I'm probably going to kill these words, much to your entertainment, I imagine. I have tried to listen to how some of them are pronounced, but woohoo, not easy, especially when a computer's saying it anyway. But I apologize in advance. I'm probably going to kill some words big time. Anyway, that's the joys of learning a language. So, first of all, let's have a look at the Italian language. We have accident, which in English means bam, you've crashed your car or you've done something nasty, you've had an accident. Whereas accidenti, and I know it's not pronounced like that, literally means you're kind of swearing, you're saying damn. Completely different meaning, but if you had a look at them, almost identical. Crude, if something is crude, it can mean that it's very basic or simple, or if you're using crude language, you're using rude language, so you're kind of swearing. Whereas crudo in Italian means uncooked, raw. Completely different. Magazine, okay, in English, you read magazines, whereas magazzino is a shop or a store. So you see the problem here. If you're an Italian learning English or you're English and learning Italian, these are some examples of false friends that are gonna cause you some problems. Spanish, okay, bizarre, which means strange or weird in English, but bizarro in Spanish means you're very brave. Carpet, as in the thing you put on the floor when it's cold, whereas carpeta is a file holder or a briefcase like a businessman would carry. Compromise, when you reach an agreement with someone else, very useful word in English. Compromiso is a promise, so that's very, dangerous, these two words. In English, you're saying I want to reach a compromise, whereas, a Spanish person could understand, oh, he wants to promise something to me. Very, very dangerous there. Or an obligation, which is something that you feel that you have to do, or you do actually have to do. So dangerous ones there. Greek, sympathetic. In Greek, sympathetikos. So in English, sympathetic means you understand how someone feels, you sympathize with them, whereas sympathetikos means the person is very likable. Agony, very painful in English. Yeah, maybe you've broken your leg and you've broken your arm and the bone is popping out. Lovely jubbly. Agony, whereas agonia in Greek means distress and anxiety. Completely different. Cosmos means space. Yeah, if you're going a space exploration into the cosmos, into the stars. Whereas cosmos in Greek is actually not referring to space, it's actually referring to your world. French, sensible, means you're very wise, logical. Yeah, whereas sensible, I think I got that right. I think I got that right. I did, didn't I? I remember my French. Maybe I didn't. Means you're very sensitive. Adept. If you're adept at something, you're talented at it, you're really good at it. Whereas adepte, killed that one, you're a follower or an enthusiast, which means you're enthusiastic about something. Blessed, blessé. So blessed means you're very lucky or charmed, or literally, maybe a saint is like literally, oh, blessed you type thing. Blessé means you're wounded or scratched. Not so lucky, in other words. So these are actually really great. And whatever, your native language, if you're Spanish or French, definitely have a look at them on the internet. If you want, I can put up some more videos of specific words, because it is fascinating and it's really funny as well to learn. So what can you do? You can do exactly that. Depending on your native language, learn the relevant words, or ask your teacher to teach you the relevant words, because this is very, very important, because, as I say, it can cause offense or a big misunderstanding. And do you know any other false friends in your language? If you do, please post them in a comment. We can get this going. Any false friends, if you're Italian, Spanish, Greek, whatever, any words that you know of in your language that are different in English, please post them as a comment, because I'm fascinated to find out. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it's given you something to think about. Here's an example of one of our tweets on Twitter. Really, really useful stuff. How do you say sad? And we give you 8 synonyms. Okay, so very, very good for boosting your vocabulary. That's all for now.